Everyone. I don't know most of you. I know some of you, though. Especially I want to say hi to Kath. So great to see you there. Hi. It's been years. All right. So
It's lovely to see you too, Annemarie.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So how's that? Everyone can see that? I went into presentation mode.
Yes, I can see that. Yep.
Okay. So California College of the Arts, I'll just really briefly tell you about it because we're a relatively smallish institution. This year, kind of post-COVID disruption, we're at 1,600 FTE. Last year, we were a little closer to 2,000, so we're dealing with that. We have two campuses, San Francisco and Oakland, and our faculty body is largely made up of practicing artists and designers. So this makes for an institutional culture of experimentation, agility, flexibility, lots of need. Everybody wants their own thing, right? So nothing terribly unique, but a very big driving force in our implementation of openEQUELLA. There we go. So first I wanted to mention just our customized theme. Everyone can go to vault.cca.edu. We call our instance Vault. We created a dashboard portlet that pulls images from different collections. And you can see here we have like student work, library collections, campus planning. These are all different tabs. And every time you come back to the dashboard, it pulls up another random set of images. And so this was an idea that we had to kind of highlight images from different collections because it's so big. I mean, we have over 73,000 records. Many of those have multiple files associated with each record. And so it just becomes so vast and so big. We first implemented eQuELLA when it was eQuELLA in 2011. So we're coming up on 10 years now. So there's a lot of stuff in there and it's kind of easy for stuff to get lost. That kind of old archives, you put stuff in and it never comes out. So I'm going to cover three different collections today. Syllabus Collection, our library's license agreements, and our student work. So first, Syllabus Collection. Syllabi are submitted by faculty, right, as most institutions. It's required to do so. We use them for accreditation and administrative purposes. We started in 2013 to collect them. We have over 8,000 syllabi now. We use them, we've had 2 accreditation reviews during this time. And so we've used them. They've been really, really, it's been great. It's been a game changer, quite frankly, for us. So here's the workflow that we use. They're uploaded, and this is a little different. I presented at Apereo a year and a half ago, and since then we've actually changed it. So this is a new setup that we have now. We have our portal, our college portal, CCA portal, and the syllabi are uploaded to course section pages, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then we use one of the APIs and we push it to our openEQUELLA syllabus collection. There's this 2-week submission period when faculty are basically uploading. And then we run a report, and the report looks at the submitted syllabi and the course listing taxonomy for that semester, and then basically sees what's missing, what doesn't match up. And then a Python script runs and emails get sent out to the faculty who haven't submitted the syllabi, letting them know which ones they need to submit. And so this workflow has worked really well for us. It's made it pretty simple for faculty to submit to the portal, because that's kind of, I'll show you in a second, but that's where a lot of the information about each individual course section is gathered. And then it's basically automatic for the notification to collect syllabi, because it was always a real pain trying to get syllabi from faculty and, nagging. And so this has really simplified it for us. So this is just a GIF to show you, this is our portal page. this is what it would look like for a faculty member. Real simple upload process there. And then there's the listing, the file, and then they can click on there to view it in Vault. And this way it allows us to have these kind of information put together, resources for students. So class sites that you see over here listed, this would be, for example, Moodle. We use Moodle and Google Classroom. So links to those course sites would be listed there. Then you have your syllabus, for example, calendar, other resources. And so it really kind of brings all of that together, but allows us to keep using openEQUELLA on the back end to really manage administratively all those documents and all those files. So then our next collection I was going to show you is our license agreements. So the libraries, we have a lot of special collections and we have the college archives. We receive requests both from internal and external researchers to use images or documents for different publications. And so for a long time, it was all paper-based, right? We don't ever charge payment. Basically, our payment, quote unquote, is a copy of the publication for whatever it is. And so we realized that we weren't tracking these things well. We didn't know if we ever received the book, for example, if it was a book. We didn't know exactly where our images or content was being used. You know, there was just a big file folder essentially, and nobody ever looked in it when somebody put something in there. So we came up with this idea. So I'm going to show you, let's see. So first, here, let me switch out for just 1 second here. All right, let's see. Is this pulling up the wizard? Oh, that's not going to like that. I'm going to start this share again. There we go. So this is the contribution wizard for requesting a license agreement. So I've already filled it out just so we don't waste time. But essentially it, has a lot of different points for us to reference, dates, title of that asset, which collection it came from. So here we have a list of all the different library collections that we have. So this example that I'm giving is from the archives. A link to the item, so if it's already been digitized, linking it there. And then information of the publication, the publisher, so we can have that and track that later, as well as contact information here. I'm going to need to do this, give an address. Let's do this. 0. And then what happens is you click this next button, and this generates basically all of that boilerplate text that we use for the actual license agreement. It fills in all of that information that someone filled out on the previous page into this. And this, then it has its sections, right? All of that information. The areas in yellow are the ones that relate to very specifically to either the information that was inputted or just information we want to highlight. And then all the way down here at the bottom, lots of legalese in this. You get the signature and you get the two parties information. So what we ask is here at the top is you click print. And so this generates a PDF of this page. And so then someone can take that and they can either do, print it out and do a wet signature, or they can attach an electronic signature. And then we ask them to upload it down here. And you add that resource right there and it gets uploaded to us. And that way then we've made it very simple for the researcher to input the information. But then we also have it all within the agreement, official agreement. And so I'll show you, let's see. I'm gonna have to stop sharing for another second as I switch here between screens. Next screen. And so this is an example then of an uploaded license agreement. And it's all there. We have it on track. We've got the signatures, the dates at the bottom there. And that way we're able to track it. It makes it, oh, I also wanted to show you actually the, hold on just one second. Let's see here. What it actually looks like, the actual record for us. This is a list of all of our collections. So this here, you can now see the record. It lets us, we track exactly what's being used. If there's a link, we have it there. Payment, whether we've received a copy of the work yet or not, as well as all the other information. And so this has been really helpful for us. So we pull reports annually based on this, and we take a look and we follow up with people, and it has just made it so much simpler. All right, now let's see, going back. Okay, can you see this still? Yeah. Okay. So the last collection I was going to share with you is our student work collections. So you saw that big giant list of all of our collections. The way we've set it up is that each academic program, and we have over 30, has their own collection. There's a couple of cases you can see here. Architecture, they combined their undergraduate and graduate together into one single collection. But for the most part, these are all different collections. And we've done it this way because going back to, lots of individual-based needs, openEQUELLA has allowed us to do that. And so we've been able to essentially set a minimum number of metadata fields that we want to collect on every student work. But then the chair of the program is able to take that in other directions and build upon that. So they're used for a lot of different use cases. Exhibitions, and I'll show you an example of an exhibitions use case, but also promotional purposes. So for example, we have some collections, architecture, first year program are two that come to mind, where the faculty are actually asked to come in and assign ratings, so just high, medium, low, that correspond to grades to the work. And then based on that rating, the work is shared. So for example, if it's a high, it becomes, in the case of architecture, they share it with Marcom. For promotional purposes, they share it with advancement for working with donors and cultivating different donors. And in architecture, they also make it public. First year program, they don't make it public, but they do share it with Marcom. And so the chairs are really able to just choose based on, the way they want to run the program and for their purposes. We also use the work in programmatic reviews and accreditation reviews, as well as assessment activities. So we've done exercises where, let's say there's a group of faculty that want to look at a series of work coming out of a particular course that has multiple sections taught by multiple faculty. So at the end of the school year, they'll come together. We will hide all of the identifying information of that record. So all that they see is just the work itself and possibly some of the descriptors and materials used, for example. And then they do a norming activity, and then they go through and they do the assessment of the work to see really, how those courses are working. And then archives is another example as well. So I'll show you this example, exhibitions. So this is coming from the photography program. I have one of my little monkeys has joined me in the background. So we have digital exhibitions that we run off of the library site. And so this is an example. Anyone can go ahead and see this, libraries.cca.edu at the exhibitions. And this is a class, Investigations 3 out of photography. And student work was submitted. And then we worked with them to create this gallery. And this allowed the faculty member to really look closely at the different works submitted, curate it, assess it, and then put together this exhibition with us. So, and I think that, we can open up to questions. And I don't know if anything came in the chat.
Yeah, thanks so much, Annemarie. That was great. I know one of the questions that came through was just with regards to what version of openEQUELLA you're running. I believe it's 19.2, but can you confirm that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think that's correct. I think so. Because what we tend to do is we run in the summer or in the winter. And I know that this summer, was a bit of a wash. As seen by Dan's exploding globe. I thought that was really
No, terrific. What I might also do is I might just launch another quick poll. I know when Annemarie and I were doing the preparation for this, Annemarie mentioned she'd be interested to know, how many other clients, have used APIs as part of their implementation, particularly in the way that CCA's portal's talking to Equella. So I might just launch another quick poll. Whilst I do that, please respond to it. But then, feel free to send through some questions through. So I'll leave that open. Comment from Dan, great presentation. And even after 10 years with openEQUELLA, good to see you're continuing to evolve your use of the platform. Given some conference participants are new to openEQUELLA, what would you do differently if starting over today? So lessons learned.
Mm-hmm. I do think that the chairs at times have run a little wild with their customizations. And that's, it's kind of a challenge in general, how to balance the ability to configure pretty much anything, right? And then someone wants to come and say hi. So we've had to kind of, we've had to balance that because you end up getting requests that, creative, very helpful in some ways, but, they can require a level of investment and maintenance that just doesn't, pan out in the long run. So that, I think that is kind of one of the things that I would do differently, is really look closely at exactly what are the boundaries, right? Or the bumpers, as we call them sometimes, of, kind of those requests.
Terrific. I'll just share the results. So interestingly, have you configured your implementation to use APIs? So yes, using our team, yes, using your own team for 9 of the responses we got, and then no for the rest. So interesting results there. A couple of other questions from Karen Pierce. So hi, Annemarie, with the Syllabus Collection, are replacement versions of attachments pushed to the collection via API? If so, do they retain their original URL?
They are. So actually, technically what we end up doing, because we struggled with that, struggled with the kind of version control and updating the link, we have it run, it gets pushed as a new one initially, a new submission, but then essentially we do a reconciliation process and we merge the records. So, it's kind of an extra step. Maybe there's a cleaner way to do it, but based on the way our portal was configured, that seemed to be the cleanest UI for the end user, for the faculty. So we don't want that.
Terrific. And otherwise, Volti's running on 19.2. Chris has confirmed. Lee, very interesting. Our library team might be keen to know more about the licensing functionality. So thank you so much, for taking the time. I know life's busy over there for you at the moment. So no, we really appreciate it.
Great.
So